Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! Back, Fuchs. And the ball in behind Damian Vardy! It's 11! It's heaven for Jamie Vardy!
You are an ostrich. Well, your head must be in the sand. Is your head in the sand? Are you flexible enough to get your head in the sand?
Now the fans are shouting every week, Louis van Gaal's army! Louis van Gaal's army!
Feet after a fabulous start, the game just got away from you there.
I have nothing to say.
Nothing to say about the game at all.
Drama from day one! This is the league we want to watch!
Match week 37 in the books. The second to last week wraps up, and so does the title. Arsenal lose to Forest, securing the title for Man City. Man City also grab all 3 points against Chelsea on Sunday to celebrate. Some movement towards the bottom of the table as the relegation race heats up. United and Newcastle also securing Champions League places as Liverpool drop points to Villa. All that was from match week 37 and some midweek action. We preview the final match day of the season coming up. This is the Premiership Perusal podcast.
Well. Here we are, the penultimate episode of the season.
I'm just gonna give the whole season a grade right now.
Yeah.
A big stinky D-.
It was
This season sucked.
the only saving grace
You might say
was
that
when
it was,
Arsenal was in first place, and now that Arsenal is not winning the title, it has been an absolute.
everyone loves the
stinker.
underdog, but when the big guys stink, like Chelsea are awful, obviously. Tottenham are bad even by Tottenham standards. And United, they might be top 4, but let's be real, they're not not very good. They're definitely still not Man U standards.
Liverpool
is starting off they virtually didn't play half a season.
Yes, exactly.
So it just wasn't a great year, to say the least. But hey, we got some okay things out of it.
Yeah.
Let's jump in.
Let's jump in.
Saturday.
Speaking of Tottenham being not a good team, they are still not a good team.
No, even when they have nothing to play for, neither does Brentford. They said, hey, let's lose this game, lads.
I think Tottenham and Harry Kane are one and the same type. It's Harry Kane pops off for Tottenham every single year.
It's a big handshake between them. There's nothing on the line, and he plays like he's,
But every year Tottenham fail
Ronaldo.
to do anything. And they just keep sinking further and further. They were in the Champions League final just a few years ago, and now they're fighting for the Europa League spots.
Yep.
And meanwhile, you got Harry Kane popping off. For some reason, won't leave the club. Really should leave the club. Should have left the club years ago.
Yeah.
If he had any ambition, he would have left the club.
Which I think we know he does not. Even if he leaves now, it's still it's weird.
He does not. And it's just like Daniel Levy also has no ambition. He's just a businessman.
He's trying to make the brand of Tottenham. We've talked about this because I said the one great thing that Tottenham had was always White Hart Lane. It was always a great just vibe to the whole stadium. And then they're like, how about Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? We'll have NFL action here and do that. It just felt so forced. They're trying to be like PSG of England, not necessarily with the success and whatnot, but they're trying to be a brand rather than a team. It was very odd.
It's very soulless, very corporate, very bland.
Unlike Brian and Buemo.
Unlike Brian and Buemo, who is absolutely goated apparently, he is taken off, getting into the game.
Never heard of him.
Harry Kane opens the scoring 8 minutes in with a superb goal from a free kick.
Little Kulishevsky assist layoff there.
Yes,
Kulishevsky. It's not your typical free kick, but actually I heard a rumor, and I don't know if it's true, because you just never know. Some of these foreign sources, you're like, is that believable? Is it not? I don't know. Some random Italian source.
Yeah, I only trust the Daily Mail.
There's apparently talks that Tottenham may not purchase Kulishevsky, which would be obscene, absolutely obscene.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I thought they already bought him. I thought that was already the thing. I thought they bought him like right away.
Yeah, I thought that it was the loan to buy. Obviously, was last year because it was the 1.5-year loan. I remember that, but they didn't activate it yet. I don't believe it. There's no way possible. It's so hard to buy guys now for like 30 mil, 35 mil. Same. It's like with the Odegaard thing. It's like even if Odegaard wasn't like player of the year caliber, if he was like pretty decent, it would still be worth it to buy like a 25, 26-year-old like playmaker for 35 mil.
Yeah.
These days. And that's kind of how it is with Kulishevsky. It's like, where are you picking a guy like that from, like a 22-year-old guy for 30 mil? That's effectively one of your best players. I don't know. What do I know?
So getting back into the game, Tottenham had the majority of the chances in the first half. Son had a chance saved by Raya. And then Emerson Royale had a header cleared off the line. Chance for Dan Juma getting his first start for Tottenham Hotspur.
There you go.
Which is surprising how shit they've been. Now they decide to throw him in there finally, him and Kulishevsky.
Yeah, or not.
Had a chance from a tough header, goes just wide, and then Son with the chance before halftime, blocked by Ben Mee, nicely blocked, and then Kulishevsky just right before the final whistle, forcing Raya into a stop. So it was pretty much all Tottenham in the first half. Brentford got going after halftime, 50 minutes. Brian and Buemo, the man who cannot stop scoring, keeps scoring, draws it level, cutting in from the right-hand side. He's filling in for Ivan Toney, and maybe he's the new Ivan Toney.
Last year, or not last year, but I guess anytime he's playing with Toney, obviously, he might be a little further back. He's definitely more out wide.
Yeah.
And he's kind of got to be a little more provider. What if we just didn't know that Mbeumo had to be like, he was just a 9? Is there a chance of that? He's playing out of position and they're just like, well, this is our best alternative. We don't really have a playmaker kind of guy, so it has to be Mbeumo.
You got to feed that man.
Let him eat. Because it definitely ain't Kevin Shada yet.
Not yet. Speaking of feeding that man, Aaron Hickey plays Brian and Mbeumo through on goal, and Mbeumo scores with a class finish for the brace, the 12-minute brace.
It's falling apart, Tottenham Hotspur. Absolutely falling apart on you.
Shambolic out of Tottenham. The midfield just all over the place. The back line also all over the place. And that showcased 87 minutes in. Wisa calling game. Bad giveaway from Captain Ollie Skip.
That was nuts. That's cornerstone of the club, Ollie Skip. Giving the ball away there was so bad.
I don't know what he was doing. He's like trying to dribble back towards the goalkeeper, and I don't know, man. You just got to get rid of that. Anyways, finish is 3-1. A very nice Brentford win against a very not decent Tottenham Hotspur.
My only question for you,
yes,
is where's Wisa rank in terms of Premier League strikers now? Is he top 10 yet?
Top 10? No. No.
He's for sure. Where would Chelsea have finished in the table if they had Wisa? That's all I want to know.
I think they would have finished lower.
Oh, that's not possible.
No. They would have had at least 2 games that they didn't win that they would have won by him scoring in the 94th minute.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, I mean, good win for Brentford. Tottenham. I just don't know how Daniel Levy it's one thing to not overreact to things. I feel like sometimes teams are in certain situations where they kind of overreact a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But this has been going on for so long. It's like, how have you not sold Kane? You're not anywhere near competing for what you should be, whether it's the Premier League or in Europe. Sometimes you just should sell your 30-year-old striker that is in need by other teams that are a little closer than you, and you just rebuild. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Rumors flying about who the next manager is. Looks like they're going for a bit of more unknown guys rather than the known.
You know what I think it is, Sam? I think it's 2021 again, because they go after Nagelsmann,
Mm-hmm.
and he says, "No, I need my own sporting director, and you don't have one." He's like, "Can I pick it?" And Daniel Levy's like, "No, you might pick someone who's expensive." And he's like, "Okay, I'm out." And then who else did they go after? I know they just went after Arne Slot, the Feyenoord manager, and he's apparently he said no. Slash Tottenham would not pay 6 mil to Feyenoord to get him, or 6 mil more than they're gonna pay, so a total of 10 mil. It's bad, just bad. So apparently now it's Potter. They're looking at Celtics manager, and they keep saying Sporting Portugal's manager, who by all accounts is a good manager, so I don't know why he would go there. I would suspect he'll hold out and probably get a job in Spain or some other big time job maybe in England, but I don't know. Tottenham forever. Chelsea's charity FC. Tottenham's what, penny pinching FC?
Tottenham's dropping the ball FC. I don't know. They've had
lower depths.
They've had this time to plan. They fired Conte. They should have been planning getting someone lined up, and now they're just fumbling around. They're gonna end up with a Nuno situation again, where they get the seventh choice man, and meanwhile they're scouting guys while they don't have a coach or a director. So you're bringing in guys that who knows if the coach is even going to like these guys.
Yeah.
It's just classic Tottenham. They have no idea what they're doing.
You keep Kane because you have this idea that you're a big club and stuff, and you need some kind of poster boy. Should have sold Kane, should have sold Son. Is what it is. You did your last gasp chance when you brought in Conte, and it didn't work.
Absolutely.
Now it's 4th down, and you got to punt.
Right.
Speaking of punting, that's not Man U, but it is Bournemouth.
Yes.
Bournemouth they're in Cancun already. They're in Abu Dhabi already.
I was about to say they're on summer vacation. This game,
they have checked out.
We're to the point in the season where some of these games are just brutal.
Games. They're games.
They are indeed games by only technicality.
And that's why it's when your team if it's a close title race or it's or you're vying for top 4 like United are, it's nice to just play the 13th or 14th place team, because more than likely you'll just catch them when they're off. If you're playing the 19th place team, it's that season's on the line for them too. So it's you're gonna get their best.
Yeah, unless you're playing
a team that's just done. Well, Leeds. Sometimes Leeds' best is not enough. Let's put it like that.
Most times.
Let's get to this game.
Getting into the game.
They wore the green kits too. Let's note that.
The green
Mountain Dew kits.
The Mountain Dew kits. They're all named Kyle. United starting the game out, slow possession. People try and say United is a good team. I watch this and I'm thinking they are so far off of being a good team.
Yeah, I mean, if Liverpool, Chelsea, or Tottenham weren't completely terrible this year, just think that.
Absolutely.
three very decent sides regularly. If they're okay, you're not in the top 4.
Yeah.
You're back in Europa League. I don't know. I just think that this is kind of a negative reinforcement,
Yes.
but they think it'll probably be good and they'll just settle for it, I guess. I don't know.
And it's the circle of United that we've talked about, where the fans get lulled into thinking that United is good, but if you actually watch them, they're not that good. And then eventually it all falls apart, and then they end up at square one.
Yes.
And I think that's going to happen again.
That probably will happen. And I think the way to cap that off, Sam, is Neymar coming in.
Neymar. He's going to Chelsea.
No, they're saying United now.
Todd Bowley's at the wheel.
Yeah, I wish. He's stepping back.
Give him a 10-year contract.
I like that they offered. We'll get back to this. Well, it kind of ties in because United are looking at Mount, but they offered Mount a 1-year deal, a 6-year deal, and a 7-year deal. They're like, he doesn't want to stay. We offered him what we could.
Give him the works.
Well, Casemiro, who we'll get to the Chelsea United game, but scored in that game, and he scores in this game, Sam.
Yes.
On just a very odd goal.
It was a very odd goal. Marco Senesi getting a little bit to the ball, but not enough to clear it, and then Casemiro comes in kind of with the overhead finish, improvised, to take the lead 1-0 United.
I had a U moment with Bournemouth where when you saw Vigna that one time, you're like, who the hell is this guy? Who is this
the Ukrainian guy?
Yeah. Ilya.
I think he was hurt for a while. He's the big thing about him is that he's really big. Zabanji. Yeah. He's a big lad. He should be in the front lines of Ukraine. I mean, defending his motherland.
He's 20 years old. How about that?
He's massive. He's a massive man. He's massive. He's huge. He's gigantic. Rest of the first half, a lot of United possession. Bournemouth had one chance. Solanke creating space, gets his shot off, but saved well by David De Gea. Goes into halftime 1-0. Second half, slightly better from Bournemouth, but I mean, that's not saying much because the first half was almost nothing. Their best chance came when Solanke rolled the ball across goal, but no one was there for the final touch. A couple of chances for United that made me lull. Anthony had a chance flash across goal, and then Wout Weghorst drills a shot straight at Neto. The man cannot score.
No, he can't.
Bruno Fernandes had a chance in the 76th minute, saved well by Neto, but other than that, United played it out. Comfortable win, 1-0. Very scheisse game.
Yeah, it was, like we said, it was in fact a game. United needed it, Bournemouth didn't, and yet United could only win 1-0. And, yeah.
Well, moving on to the next game, which was a game I thought might be a little boring because these teams have nothing to play for. Fulham versus Crystal Palace. But this game was actually probably my favorite game of the week.
Yeah, let's not sleep on the fact that I called Man U 1-0, and then I called this game 2-2. That's pretty impressive right there. 2 games in a row.
You're heating up here, man.
Yeah, right to end the year.
You know what? That's momentum for next season. For next season's Champions League push. In your predictions.
Thank you.
Getting into the game, Fulham early possession, and then a penalty shout in the 12th minute. Tyrick Mitchell swings his leg wildly in the box, makes contact with Mitrovic. Surprised nothing was given, but that was a bit of foreshadowing into the game, as old Tyrick Mitchell had a bit of a stinker. As the half went on, Palace grew into the game, had some more possession, and looked a little better going forward. They had a chance in the 29th minute as a ball bounced around the Fulham box, but no one was there to get the finish. But 5 minutes later, Palace hit on the counter. Eze plays a perfect through ball to Edouard, scores with a absolute smash off a Finnish top corner to take the lead.
Yeah, I mean Fulham right now, for whatever reason, their attack, it had a little dry spell for a short bit, probably like a 5-game run or so. I don't know, probably like February to Marchish, but it's definitely back, and Mitrovic back running up the numbers. People were kind of coasting on he's been real good this year, and then he dropped off. Then people stopped talking about him. Now he's back.
He's back. He's heating up just before the end of the season, just like before the end of the half here. Derek Mitchell gives away a penalty on Harry Wilson. Stonewall penalty there. Mitrovic steps up, scores with a great penalty. Goes into halftime. 1-1. Second half, Mitrovic nearly scores just outside of halftime, but he drags the open shot wide. But he did get his second goal of the game in the 61st minute, scoring from an absolute bullet header at the near post from a free kick to take the lead. Mitrovic is back. Everyone's scoring braces these days. A couple of chances. Willian had one tipped over the bar by Johnston, and then nearly a chance for Jordan Ayew in front of goal, but Issa Diop deflects it just wide. 2 minutes later, Joel Ward draws level from a set piece.
Yes.
After Anthony Robinson deflects it towards goal, allowing a second chance for Ward, who scores the unlikely hero for the equalizer. The captain. And I gotta say, Fulham without Tim Ream and with Tosin back there, it is not good.
It's kind of how we thought the year would go from them this whole year. So them getting a world-class season out of Tim Ream for no reason is really what kept them up, if we're being honest.
Yes, Tim Ream is goated.
What did you think of Chick Doucouré winning Player of the Year for Crystal Palace? Is that deserved for you?
I think he's probably been the most consistent throughout the season.
Yeah. But the highs of Eze and Elise at times are what kind of catch your eye. And Anderson's still been really good this year.
Yeah, he's been solid. Yeah, if Patrick Vieira actually rated Eze, 1, he'd probably still have a job, and 2, Eze would probably be the player of the season. I mean, Eze has been absolutely phenomenal these past few weeks. Got to call up to the England national team.
It has to be said, if Woy and Vieira had any footy knowledge, they would know that the answer to unlocking Crystal Palace is, in fact, Albert Lokonga.
No, that guy sucks. Relegated to the bench.
It's Rita Vall, who's been there for since the days of De Boer.
He got in the last game. I don't think he did this game, but I was like, wait, this guy? What do you mean this guy's still on the team? I think he wins the Tosin.
He's still
Cenk Tosin award.
The Cenk Tosin William Jose, you're still here award.
Yes.
Or gone too soon award, whatever we called it.
So that one finishes 2-2. Very exciting game.
Yes.
And that's kind of like the flip side, where you have two teams that don't really have anything to play for. They just kind of play a little more
what
open.
happens. You let the chips fall where they may.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
All right,
this game actually had some stuff to play for. Liverpool Champions League spot online. Villa still vying for a spot in Europe. Early on, Villa looking pretty solid, but Liverpool holding their own in terms of possession, kind of going slower. Nothing much for chances for Liverpool. Then about 15, 20 minutes in, Villa just kind of starts to open up Liverpool. I was a bit worried that obviously Liverpool's press could catch Villa out, especially when Villa tries to build out of the back, and you didn't see it too much early on. But Villa able to break a couple times, including one where Watkins was in behind the defense, taken out from behind, penalty. Except my boy Ollie Watkins steps up and misses. He puts it just wide. Big, strong, scary Allison. He's a scary man. I wouldn't want to shoot the ball at him either because he's just too big, too strong. But Villa do get a goal through Jacob Ramsey. Nice little passing, intricate play going on there. Doug Lewis on the assist. Villa going up 1-0. After that, about 5-10 minutes after that goal, Liverpool kind of really start to pile on the pressure. But to no avail in the first half. Goes in halftime 1-0. Second half, Liverpool come out like gangbusters and they pile it on virtually the entire half. They also finally did have some success as far as making Villa just hoof it long. We're not letting Villa play it short and build from the back. Gakpo ended up scoring early on, I think like the 53rd or 54th minute, but it was ruled out as to an offside. And then it's just Liverpool spamming in crosses. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold had a good shot around the 75th minute, somewhere in that range. It felt like Liverpool just might not score. And then, of course, Sam's fake teeth veneer buddy.
The Chompers.
Yeah, Mr. Firmino, on his final day at Anfield, gets a goal, square ball for Mo Salah in the 89th minute. And then it felt like Liverpool were going to win after they got one. However, they were not able to put another one in the back of the net. Finishes 1-1. Liverpool, obviously, with that draw, not able to get Champions League spot. Good result for Villa. Obviously, you get to this stretch of the year, you kind of need some wins and stuff. But, going to Anfield with the form Liverpool have been in, you're hanging on to 7th. Puts you in a good spot to at least get some Europa Conference League play. So, props to Unai Emery on that.
There's a fantastic image of the 4 players departing Liverpool. In the middle, you got James Milner, Bobby Firmino, and then you got Ox
and Keita
and Naby Keita, and they all have like picture collages, and it's
they have some collages.
Yeah, Naby Keita, Liverpool legend.
Yep.
Surprised they could pull together like 7 pictures for him.
Well, he was pictured with the trophy. He didn't play in those games, but he was pictured with the trophy. What a weird... I think that's when the Fenway group was like, okay, maybe we don't spend so much.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't spend so much. 60 mil on Naby Keita. And I don't know what wages he's on, but he was probably on some insane wages.
Probably.
Moving on.
Next
Other
game.
Merseyside club, Everton.
Fighting for survival.
Yes, while Wolves are just too good at home. Game starts off pretty balanced between both sides. Everton in this game really, really strong in terms of, getting on the ball and then winning some free kicks, getting some fouls, and then just trying to create kind of scrappy chances off of that. They had a few early on, including one from Yerry Mina that went just high off a corner. As for Wolves, it was really the Dom Traore show. It felt very much like the end of the Nuno run where he's just like, all right, we're going to feed him, and he's just going to kind of dribble straight at people. But it did work for one counterattack. Traore went up the wing, took a shot from side of the 18-yard box, forced Pickford to make a save, who played it over to Hwang Hee-chan, or parried it over to Hwang Hee-chan, rather, who taps it in and did not get hurt on the play. 1-0 Wolves. Goes to halftime 1-0. Second half, Wolves a lot more possession in this half, and that's a bit surprising because you're thinking, oh, Everton's down, but Everton kind of know it either has to be a counter or a set piece for them. They're not going to be building much out of possession, it seems like. But Wolves creating some chances, but really in Wolves fashion, Sam, saying, hey, let's settle for some long shots.
Mm-hmm.
And not even long shots from like attacking guys. It's like, here's Semedo. No, yeah, no, it goes way wide. It was just that for like 40 minutes. Everton pilot on in the last 15 to 10 minutes. And then Sam at the end, the 90 plus 90, Yerry Mina. You got to be kidding me, Sam.
You gotta be kidding me. This guy, how is this guy? Hank saw my Yuri Mina dance. I was dancing.
And not to celebrate his goal, because no one likes this guy.
Yeah.
Everton, I would like you much more if you didn't have this guy. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, you got rid of Richarlison, but this guy's the other half. You gotta dump him.
Yes. The Keane header back to Mina. Finishes 1-1. If I would have had Wolves this week, which I did consider betting, I would be so sad. And I would hate Yerry Mina even more, which doesn't seem possible, but if I were to lose money because of that guy, I would have lost my skull.
Yeah. That's a big point for Everton as it takes them to 33 points, 2 points ahead of Leicester and Leeds. So that means all they need is if they win.
Yeah, because right now, even then, if Everton were to lose the last game, Sam, and Leicester were to have drawn it,
yep,
Leicester would stay up because Everton's goal differential. They have a worse goal differential than Leicester.
But now 2 points clear. Can't happen.
Yeah, gotta win.
Gotta
win. Should we briefly touch on Wolves and their project might be coming to a halt, but no one's really talking about it?
Yes. Things could go very bad.
They just lied to Lopetegui about the money and their financial fair play situation. They can't sign a bunch of these guys. I think Cunha was their last play as far as what they could do financially.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very odd situation. They might not keep Lopetegui now knowing that he's like, hey, I don't really want to be here if we can't bring in more guys. I guess it would be okay for Wolves because then, you at least saw another day, you stayed up. But at the same time, it's like things were looking a little better under Lopetegui. So I don't know. But if you're going to sell Neves, it's like, how are you replacing him? A lot of questions. Wolves will probably be one of my top 5, maybe top 3 most interesting clubs going into the summer window.
Yeah, they might just find themselves back where they started. In trouble.
I was going to say the championship.
In the championship, yeah. Exactly. You need to have some sort of level of sustainability.
Yeah, well, even just making some updates on the fly as far as getting a little younger, but not dropping off too much talent-wise. But they've still spent a good amount of money, just like we're talking about with the Cunha deal. They spent 50 mil on him. Where is he?
Yeah, I don't think you're getting 50 mil worth of production.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll cover that more in depth in the coming weeks. But
all right.
Next, we have to go to Sam's least favorite game of the week.
Yeah, this game was absolute dog shit. One of the worst games I've ever witnessed, to be honest.
Before we really get into it, can I mention something that's very odd?
Yes.
Everyone's like very, very pro Gibbs White now.
It is weird.
I don't know how like what you've seen from him the last few weeks has like changed your whole outlook. I guess if you just haven't watched any of Forest, then I guess it makes sense. But I mean, he hasn't played like any better or worse than this. He's kind of been this level the whole year. He's just really nice player. I don't know if if he improves, maybe he'll live up to that price tag, but
yeah,
we'll see. At least Forest have a building block with him and Brennan Johnson.
It's funny. I thought I was reading the England squad, people reacting to the England squad.
Yeah.
People were saying, "Oh, Gibbs White should get a call up," and then I was seeing people talking that Harrison Reed shouldn't get a call up. It's like, well, Harrison Reed is far more deserving than Gibbs White.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where Gibbs White is in a slightly flashier role,
Yeah.
to say the least, in terms of he's going to be on the ball. He's going to, be creating a lot of chances. But he does do a lot of dirty work for Forest, which I don't think he'd have to do if he was playing for England. I don't know for sure, but it's I think that's a lot of what it kind of comes down to. Not to mention no one watches Fulham.
Yes, exactly.
It'll be one of those things too where I lost my train of thought now. Oh, where a middle table or lower table side will always be like, oh, where's our guy?
Mm-hmm.
It's like Southampton fans forever with James Ward-Prowse. Like, where's our guy?
Yes.
It's like, guess what? He's not there. He shouldn't be there.
Yes. So getting into this game, Forest versus Arsenal. Arsenal rolling out with some weird ass formation. Mikel Arteta head getting a little too swollen, thinking that he's a mastermind, rolling with Ben White, Partey, Gabriel Kivior as a back line, then Odegaard, Jorginho, Xhaka, and Saka, Jesus, Trossard. Just very strange. Did not work at all. It was horrendous. 20 minutes
yeah, they
in.
should have had a Mario Koscier Dewberry out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Rule Walters.
100%. 20 minutes in, Forest get the first and only goal of the game. Poor giveaway from Martin Odegaard leads to a counterattack from Forest. And Awonyi keeps scoring, and he scores again. It's just been the season of like random strikers just popping off for some reason.
Yeah, but like only for like 4-game stretches.
Yes. Arsenal.
A proper striker like Ollie Watkins goes off for like 10 games.
Yeah.
And then does nothing for
now
other
he's ice cold.
Yes.
There was a lot of Arsenal possession, but doing absolutely nothing with it. Super slow ball movement. Forrest just sitting back, holding on to the 1-0 lead. Goes in halftime, 1-0. Second half, much of the same. Arsenal could barely even muster up a chance. They had one. Saka saved at the near post. And then Gibbs White had a chance to make it 2, but he fired a shot into the side netting. Arsenal never really looked threatening like they were going to score. It just felt like this was going to be Forest's game to win. Turns out it was. Finishes 1-0 Forest. Get the 3 points in safety. Hopefully they'll be sending Arsenal a Christmas card next year because that was an absolute gift.
Yeah, Arsenal just really look deflated, to say the least, this entire game. It didn't look like the moment was too big for them. Like, sometimes you see that with teams. It just looked like they were so just like done even before the game started.
Yeah, ran out of gusto.
Yeah.
Yep. So, no need to dwell on that game. It was awful. Hopefully you didn't watch it.
Officially steals the title for Manchester City.
The title. Yes, exactly. The icing on the shit pudding cake.
I'm a big Man City guy, personally. I love to watch their style of football. It's the most appealing to me.
Absolutely.
You ever wonder if people who actually say shit like that watch?
Well, I know no one watches.
Yeah, I think so. They just see success and they're like, all right, that's fantastic. He must be great. Moving on. Sunday action.
First game. West Ham versus Leeds. Leeds need a result here. because it's getting down to the wire. But
Yeah.
you know what? They had some early chances. 3 minutes in, break for Patrick Bamford, has the first touch of a lead foot, and the ball rolls out of play. This guy is washed as washed gets.
Leeds actually, looked pretty good to start. I mean, Harrison had a chance, and obviously we'll get to the Rodrigo goal, but
Yeah,
they
Rodrigo had
first 20 minutes,
a chance too.
they had it going.
Yeah, they sure did.
They sure did.
They sure did. Rodrigo had a chance, but again, another heavy touch denies the opportunity. And then, like you mentioned, Jack Harrison had a shot, but it was straight at Fabianski. But Leeds did open up the scoring from a long throw-in. Rodrigo fires home with a nice volley to take the lead. Things looking not so bad for Leeds. Good start. West Ham kind of started getting more so into the game after the goal. Chance 27 minutes in where there's a scramble in the Leeds box, and West Ham nearly score from the corner, but no one able to get the final touch on it past Lord Joel Robles. And then speaking of Joel Robles, does not cover himself in glory on this one. 32 minutes in, Declan Rice gets a cross from Jared Bowen, and Rice kind of spikes it into the ground, and Joel Robles is just...
He's tipping over.
He's flying into the side of the net before Rice even kicks it.
He's just tipping over, slowly but surely.
Yeah, it was a rough one. 40 minutes in, Emerson has a shot at the near post, saved pretty comfortably, and it goes into halftime 1-1.
Yeah, Leeds' strategy, Sam, of spamming crosses was it wore out very fast eventually.
Spamming crosses, trying to hit on the counterattack when you got a guy like Patrick Bamford up front, who did go off injured. Yeah, it wasn't working out.
No. West Ham second half turned it on, though, early.
Yeah, they did. Paqueta had a chance from distance saved, and then Souček nearly scores from a corner. Joel Robles forced into some nice saves there. But he couldn't keep out Jared Bowen, who scored with a nice finish. Just barely onside with the through ball from Danny Ings. Lord Danny Ings. Get in with the assist.
Yeah, that was nice. Nice little pass in behind.
Big chance for Leeds in the 85th minute to grab the equalizer. Somerville hits on the break, and Fabianski comes out, but Emerson makes a great recovery block to stop the chance. And then after that, West Ham go on to score a third in the 94th minute through Lanzini. Caps off the win for West Ham after some leaky defense from Leeds. Finishes 3-1. Comfortable victory for West Ham. They get back in the winning column, back with more of a Premier League quality lineup on this one, and it showed.
The week of goodbyes, Lanzini leaving West Ham end of the year.
Yeah.
It's his goal to say goodbye.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see some other departures from West Ham, possibly David Moyes at the end of the season, but
I don't know. They're saying he's gonna stay on for next year.
I would think it would come down to the final, the Conference League final.
I feel like if you're him, how do you not just want to go out on top and be like, yeah, I had a good run with West Ham, ended up in a European final. I'm just gonna call it here.
Yeah.
And maybe if someone wants to cut me one more check next year before I get too old, I'll do that. But
yeah,
what's like it's more likely that next year you come back with West Ham and you kind of just stink it up and they sack you, and that's like, that's
100%. If he comes back next year, he's gonna get sacked. So yeah, if they win, definitely should just bow out at that point and say, yep, you know what, it was a good run. Time to move on. Both sides. Time to move on.
Agreed. Speaking of moving on, Southampton, they're moving on to the Championship. And Brighton, they're moving on to the Europa League, Sam.
Yes, marching on to Europa.
It's funny, we were just talking about Leeds. I like when you see the one random person who runs into a player or a coach and they feel obligated to take a picture with them. Because I saw this one lady who took a picture with Jesse Marsh and was like talking to him about Leeds or something. And he's like, I asked him what he thought, and he's like, I don't know why they got rid of me, but I hope they stay up.
Wow, what a top guy.
Yeah, that's how you can tell that guy's a true patriot. He'll stick through anything.
Shouldn't have
Jesse
got
Marsh.
sacked.
What do you mean? Javi Gracia worked out well. They had to bring in Big Sam to replace him. Brighton and Southampton, just a sad South Coast derby. Not even a derby, but it doesn't matter to both South teams. Who cares? This one, Brighton really able to kind of open up Southampton with the long passing. Dr. Dribbles with a good chance early on, but sends it wide. Matoma just not at his shooting boots lately. Simple as.
Yeah, he's gone a
It's still
little
dribble. He
cold.
just can't shoot. He's going Traore. He's the Japanese Traore. Southampton counterattack with the 3-on-2, but they waste the good chance. Couldn't believe that Aribo started this game. I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
They're apparently going to keep him. He's going to play in championship. Could do okay for him down there. Southampton with a giveaway in their box. Not to mention before this giveaway in their box, they're like passing really slow around their box. And Brighton just like walk up and they're like, okay, you're going to have to stop this. And Southampton didn't. Hence why they almost had a giveaway. But Matoma gets the giveaway and he hits the post. But Brighton finally opened the scoring. Evan Ferguson, young Evan Ferguson, Sam, with a blast right at McCarthy's feet/shins, and he can't stop it, and it's 1-0.
Too good.
Brighton double the lead on a little counterattack after giveaway. Matoma dimes up Evan Ferguson to make it 2-0. Goes in halftime. Brighton 2, Southampton 0. Southampton start off pretty decent in the second half, and they get a goal. James Ward-Prowse corner. The little El Nuesi flick on header past Man of Steel, Jason Man of Steel, to make it 1-2. And then Walcott makes it 2-2 in the build-up, but he's offside by a pinky toe. Unfortunate for Southampton, but it just kind of shows that Brighton really dropped off in the second half in this one, especially in terms of possession. It's not like Southampton did that much to change things up. Brighton really don't create a half-decent chance till the 67th minute off a corner, which is saved by Alex McCarthy. But then, to seal it, Brighton do get another corner, and it's Pascal Gross who seals it shortly after, tying him as the all-time leading scorer in the Premier League for Brighton with Neil Maupay and Glenn Murray.
Lord Glenn Murray.
Finishing 3-1.
Speaking on Evan Ferguson.
Yes.
I really have a problem with the Young Player of the Year award. Because you just get guys who are like established players, just like Saka. Saka shouldn't be in the running for that. Maybe there should be like an appearance limit or something. But
I feel like it should just be capped, but they lower the age. Because right now it's 23, and it's like, why is it 23? I get that it used to be relatively young. It should be 20.
20.
It should be 20.
20, 21. It should be for guys like Ferguson.
Yeah. I like that. It's where it's like basketball, they do most improved player, and it's like a guy who's like a borderline MVP candidate. Versus a guy who is like a G leaguer and he like became a nice bench role player guy. It's
yeah. You gotta consider like what the spirit of the award is.
Yeah, that's how you want to determine it. I agree. I think it should be someone who bursts onto the scene, you know?
Yes. All right. Any final thoughts on Brighton or Southampton?
See you later, Southampton. I'm sick of looking at you.
Yeah, me too.
Chelsea versus drunk Man City backups. This one starts off with a Gomez blast that is off a volley that just goes high and wide. I figured, once they sold Cancelo that he would have a little more of an impact, Sergio Gomez, but they just never really play him all that much. I still can't determine if he's good or not.
Yeah.
He seems like a Pep kind of guy where he can kind of play anywhere and do everything, so we'll see. But Chelsea giveaway, Man City counterattack. Silva and Chalobah just not on the same page at all about positioning and who's covering who. And it ends up being 1-0 as Julian Alvarez. The eat your heart out Erling Haaland. It's Julian Alvarez time. Assist from Cole Palmer. But Man City, once they're on the ball, just decided to go really fast, and Chelsea could do nothing to stop it. Foden, pretty decent chance on a chip that went just wide, but around the 30th minute, Chelsea finally getting into the game. Sterling with a amazing chance as he's in behind. Somehow gets kind of chased down, and the shot still saved anyways. Chelsea also have a good chance right before the stroke of halftime. Conor Gallagher hitting the post on a header. Goes in halftime 1-0. Second half, Chelsea with a great counterattack to open the second half, but the Gallagher pass is poor. And Chelsea started to be able to kind of win the ball and then just run. And that's the best way to catch these teams out right now. That seems to be the meta, as Sam would say. That's kind of the strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, it's very alarming that even though Chelsea are playing a bunch of backups and just seeing what they have, Lewis Hall might be back to being their best guy.
Dude, I was gonna say Lewis Hall. Everyone's talking about Lewis Hall.
I think he's second behind Evan Ferguson for Young Player of the Year.
Okay, calm down. Calm down.
Yeah, City score, but they're offside. Fofana, this game, and especially this Man U game, not sharp at all. Mudryk, the final chance for Chelsea, and he skies it. Finishes 1-0. Man City, not a good performance by City, but who cares? You were already champions before the game started.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Any other thoughts on Chelsea or Man City?
Lewis Hall, goated.
Goated, yeah.
I think that's all that needs to be said.
I like the idea, how he has a high number, he has 67. I like the idea that he flips it, but it makes it even higher. He just goes to 76. He's like, yeah, this is the number I always wanted.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was in the squad before, so I didn't know what number to go with. Newcastle Leicester on Monday.
Ooh.
Listen, Sam, Dean Smith, he had his bus, and he had it absolutely parked. He brought the bus. No credit to Leicester because their defenses looked really, really ass this entire year, and that's why they're here. But in a game where they needed it most, and sure, a lot of it was luck, they still at least held their shape. Early on, Newcastle kind of did settle for long shots rather than kind of work a bit for it, but they did get one close chance. Everson spills the ball, and it falls to Callum Wilson, who from point-blank range hits the post, and then it comes right back to him, and he heads it towards net, but it's cleared off the line. Newcastle with another chance that goes off the post. Almiron, little cutback, little rip off the post. Goes to Isak, who skies the rebound over. And then right before halftime on the corner, Callum Wilson, technically a free header, not really a free header, but no one completely on him. Heads it over the top of the net. Goes to halftime 0-0. Second half, just another one of those games where Newcastle will just sit there and you'll be like, are they ever going to score? Is it going to happen? And there's only been one or two games this year where they actually have done that, and it finally came through. I remember that game against United kind of felt like that at one point.
Mm-hmm.
in Newcastle, but it's just like, will they ever score? Who knows? Yeah, Bruno Guimaraes just rips a tap in, like point blank, like not even 2 feet out, right off the post, at the back post, off the corner. Longstaff denied at the 75th minute, but a chance at the death, Sam, as Newcastle were kind of just fine seeing it out because they clinched their spot. They only needed a point for Champions League qualification. But at the death, Leicester with a chance. They win a free kick. They send it in, kind of headed around, and then Castagna with just an absolute rip of a volley right at Pope, parried away, or no, it was parried right at the big Aussie, but cleared away by Newcastle in the nick of time. Finishes 0-0. It's pretty entertaining 0-0, mainly because you're just sitting there wondering if Newcastle's going to score ever. And you know there's so much on the line for Leicester that whether you like Leicester or you hate them, you're just like thinking about the implications for what it means for them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Leicester needed some points. They got 1 point there. Will it be enough?
That's more. That's more than I would have thought coming in. So mad props to.
That's true.
Mad props to them. I just thought it was hilarious that Madison was on the bench to start, and Harvey Barnes.
They're not defenders.
The Mad Hatter, Dean Smith. He said, they're too small for the bus. That's the problem.
Yeah, let's get some fullbacks playing on the wing.
Luke Thomas, get in there.
Luke Thomas, you playing the revolutionary full four fullback system. You go with the back
they're
six.
Stacked on top of each other. Brighton and Man City.
Let me tell you, Hank, I watch as someone who 100% watched this game, inspecting this game, delving so deep into this game. I can tell you that there was a goal in the 25th minute. Phil Foden, he's back, baby. That's the Ballon d'Or. Phil Foden pumping himself up at the end of the year. Getting the goal.
There's Colwell's been really good for Brighton at times, especially playing the passes out of the back. But once in a while, he has moments like this where he just like kind of tips over, and you're like, "What? Wait, what?" And he just gave a breakaway to Haaland, and Haaland dribbles the keeper, dribbles the defender. He plays it right across the Foden and taps it in. Yeah, it was weird that I thought City were just going to pound Chelsea because it was at home, and then they just throw the Brighton game away. It's weird that they tried in this one, but I guess Pep probably felt like, we'll just let the guys celebrate over the weekend, and who cares about the Chelsea game? But whatever.
Gotta stay sharp for the upcoming
Champions League final,
FA Cup final.
Which I think they might get 2021 Champions League final again, if you know what I'm saying.
No way. No way. No way.
We'll see.
No way.
We'll see. Brighton respond. A couple disallowed goals in this game, one being Matoma. But then we have Enciso, Sam, who just walks up like nothing happened and it just blasts one upper 90. Potential goal of the year out of Enciso. I was complaining that he only does it against Chelsea. And then he scores a tap it against Arsenal, and then we're like, maybe this guy just hates our team. And now he does it against City. Maybe he's just a big game player.
Big game player Enciso.
Big game Julio, they call him.
Big game Julio.
Because the halftime 1-1. Second half main thing was Haaland scoring and the goal being disallowed as he roughhoused a little too much with Colwell before he scored the goal. That's definitely one where you would see it, 5-10 years ago, and you wouldn't even blink an eye after the review and stuff. No one ever talked about that, but I don't know. It's a strange game. We'll see what happens with VAR.
Game's gone.
Game's gone. Might as well. Might as well be. Finished with 1-1.
Yeah.
It was a game.
It was a game. Respect to Brighton. They got a point.
Yeah. At the Etihad. At the empty.
This is why Brighton will win the Premier League in the 2023-2024 season.
Finishes 15th.
Roll on Summer. Sorted.
So, let me tell you, Chelsea and United to wrap up the week.
Chelsea. After it comes out, Mihailo Mudryk making fun of old men at the gym.
Old fat guy with their butt cracks.
There's nothing funny about that. There's nothing funny about that.
You know what's more frustrating is that guy had terrible form, and that personal trainer's just like, yep, no, that's good. He's like using his whole body and momentum when he's doing rows. It's like, yeah, that's not how you do it. Why is that guy not telling him?
We're turning this into a gym fitness
Gym Bro podcast. Yeah, well, speaking of Mudryk, absolutely fluffs his chance early on, 3rd minute, with the game 0-0. Lewis Hall cooking, absolutely cooking out there. Square ball for a tap-in. Mudryk slices it very badly.
You know what, Hank?
You can't help but feel like if Chelsea literally just had a mediocre striker, that they would at least have finished like 7th or 8th, right? Like, they've been doing this for a while now where they create these chances. And this game, United win 4-1, but if Chelsea get the first goal, like, that at least gives you a better chance of winning. I know that's not a genius take, but like,
revolutionary.
Being up 1-0 is ideal. It turns out. I can't help but feel like if Chelsea had anyone who could somewhat put the ball in that they would be, they'd still have plenty of holes that they have to fill up, but good God, it'd make it a whole lot easier on them.
Can I just say one thing about Lewis Hall? His name is Hall, but it should be Kitchen, because this man is cooking.
Wow.
I had to drop it. I had to do it to him.
There you go. Man, you immediately go down, win a free kick, and then score on a header. That guy didn't get his fair chance this year, Sam. Aubameyang didn't get a fair chance.
Yeah. Why is he not playing?
It's almost like Chelsea can't score, and if he was the answer, he would be playing. It's almost like he's not the answer.
You know who's going to be the answer?
Who?
Lukaku.
Oh, he doesn't want to come back.
Oh, he's coming back.
He said he doesn't.
Kicking and screaming, he's coming back. Put him on the plane. He's coming back.
They're just gonna swap him. They're gonna swap him for Onana to get a new goalie. That's my Chelsea hot take. Casemiro with another header. He can't be stopped. He's either scoring or getting red cards.
Yes.
There's no in between.
The duality of man.
Chelsea really looked honestly good in this game, minus once they get in the box or around the box, then they can't pass or shoot.
You sound like Frank Lampard. We were
down
2-0, but we were looking really good, and that's signs of improvement.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Man U had a 3-on-1 breakaway, and Anthony Martial just held the ball, and he's like, I have all the time in the world. And then Dave, with probably his best tackle in like 2 years, sprints all the way up from behind, takes it off him. Could have easily been 2-0 right there, but it wasn't. Your guy, Lispini Man, got absolutely wrecked by Chalobah and had to be stretchered off the field.
F's in the chat.
Yeah, I had that. I had Lispini Man F in my notes. Lewis Hall with another dime, this time to Kai Havertz, who heads it nowhere near goal. No one on Kai Havertz. He just had it free, like smack dab in the fucking middle center of net, and he heads it like insanely wide. Wow, look at that gif. Look at that gif. Spinny man. Yeah, Enzo plays a great through ball to Conor Gallagher, who puts it just wide. And then Chelsea obviously put their final nail in their own coffin. United pulled Chelsea apart. No shape to Chelsea's back line as Sancho dimes up Martial for a tap-in to go up 2-0 in the halftime. Coming out of half, Bruno with a rip that goes off the bar. It was hilarious because the announcer's like, if he just puts that on the ground, it's in. And it's like, and there's like 3 legs in the way. There's no way that he was ever gonna get through there.
Yeah.
He's just like, if it's on the ground, it's in. I don't know why he does that. It's like, oh, you're complaining that he tried to go upper 90 and he hit the crossbar. Yeah, okay.
What did he do?
Eriksson went for a tap in, had it cleared off the line by the manlet Kepa. Chelsea create their first chance around 60th minute, but David De Gea saves comfortably. Bruno's out here drawing pens, and I'll say it, it was a bit shameless. He was looking for it. Dragging his feet. Even before Fofana fouled him, he's dragging his feet. Just disgusting. Fat patter Bruno. And he scores off it. And then Rashford scores off an absolute gift from the Chelsea defense to make it 4-0. Joao Felix running straight up the middle of the field with Man U doing nothing. They just gave up. And Joao Felix scores to make it 1-4.
Sign him up.
Did you hear what Neville said?
No.
He said that he said Chelsea are signing all these guys. So Chelsea are signing all these guys, and they haven't signed the one who's shown the best quality yet, implying Joao Felix. And I was just sitting there. I didn't know what to say. I was at a loss. That was the most insane thing I had heard about Chelsea this whole year. A guy scores in garbage time as Man U aren't even playing. And you're gonna tell me, how come he didn't do that when it mattered in games where it was 0-0?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy. Finishes 4-1 for United. I don't have much to say about this game. There wasn't. If anything, it probably should have finished United 6, Chelsea 4, or some crazy score. But regardless, United deserve the win. Chelsea stink. What else is new?
Yeah.
Well, let's go into the last match day.
Last match day, 10 games, all at the same time. First one on the docket in terms of, I guess, alphabetical is how they have it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Arsenal versus Wolves. 2 teams that have nothing to play for.
Wolves do. They got to show they can do something on the road. Am I right?
Wolves are just, they got to enjoy their time while they got it. That's all I'll say before things start going not good.
Yes. I'm going to go Arsenal because the title's signed, sealed, delivered for City. They'll just play with nothing to lose, and they'll win this one a cool 4-0. It's a very Arsenal move.
That is a very Arsenal move, yeah.
Nothing to play for. Just go out and they'll just score 3 of the best goals you'll see. And it'll be like Cedric. They somehow pay money to bring him back from loan from
for
Fulham,
one game.
And he scores.
Hey,
and you'll be like, what?
He's determined to fight for his place in the team. So
sure he is.
What
are you gonna do with Roel Walters out there?
Why not?
What is this thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna say 1-0 Arsenal. Aston Villa versus Brighton. Could be a good game, potentially. I mean, on paper, it could be good.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where depending on who's playing what, who's playing where, it's going to be a lot of possession for each side. It'll be kind of spread around. Kind of weird. The head-to-head, 4 wins for Villa, 2 draws, and then 1 win for Brighton. I wouldn't have suspected it played out like that, but so it is, I guess. Villa's going for the double over Brighton. I would suspect that this one ends in a 2-2 draw.
I'll say 2-1, and I think Villa are going to score twice within the first 15 minutes.
I'm sorry, what did you say it was going to be?
2-1.
2-1 Villa. Okay. Brentford, Man City at the Georgia Tech Community Stadium.
Why is that so zoomed in?
I don't know. That's why I said that. I was like, what's that? Man City, not much to play for. I mean, I guess you just throw Haaland out there to keep him in form and try and get him as many goals as you can to just extend his record.
Yeah, it's a real clash of the Titans. You got Haaland versus Brian and Mbeumo.
Yeah, both tall, ginormous men. Oh wait, I thought you were gonna say Wisa.
Wisa
and Haaland.
Wisa on the shoulders of Mbeumo versus Haaland.
I'm gonna say City 2-0.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. City 2-0. Chelsea versus Newcastle.
Oh yeah, there you go.
At
This
the
is the game
bridge.
of the week. This is the game of the week.
Newcastle 5-0.
Rest in paradise, Christian Atsu. This is the Christian Atsu derby.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I mean, with the way Chelsea just played, you'd have to say that it would not be looking good for Chelsea. They have a bunch of guys hurt. Who knows who's gonna even play? Could be the last time you see a lot of these guys for Chelsea. Hopefully they play Carney Chukwuemeka again. He had a really good game against United today. Hopefully I don't have to look at guys like Raheem Sterling, Aubameyang, really any of those guys. That would be fantastic. I'm going to go Newcastle with a cool 2-0 victory.
All right, Newcastle 5-0. Crystal Palace versus Forest at Selhurst. Both teams safe from relegation. Forest, can they just put a celebration on the field? Palace, they can entertain. I'm going to say 2-1 Crystal Palace.
Yeah, it's not at the City Ground. I don't have faith in Forest. We're going to go Palace with a cool 1-0 victory.
All
Everton, Bournemouth.
Yeah,
this is where we get into crunchy time.
And Everton facing Bournemouth at the best time.
Yes, this is when you want to be facing Bournemouth, but this is when you get like a Dom Solanke dropped on your head out of nowhere. They actually play their guys and
I hope they do.
pop off.
I hope they do. I hope
Bill,
Leicester stays up, and I hope Everton goes down.
So you have changed your mind, because last time we talked, you wanted Everton to stay up.
Nah, send Everton down. Leicester.
All it took was a Yuri Mina goal to remind you?
Yeah, Leicester is my city.
Yeah, that's fair. I would suspect that this ends up being a draw. I will go with a 1-1 draw.
I'm going to say Everton 1-0.
Wow. Who scores it? Dwight McNeil?
Dwight McNeil, that's a good shout. I think that's possible.
I'll let you get that.
Doucouré, maybe?
Yeah. Leeds, Tottenham.
Yeah, for some reason, this is the game they decided to broadcast on network television.
Big time club, Tottenham Hotspur.
Daniel Levy probably paid him to do that.
I'm just gonna say it. I think Leeds are gonna win this somehow. I have no idea why. I probably shouldn't have faith, but they did it last year and pulled it out. So we'll say Leeds win this one 3-2.
I'm gonna say.
And they still go down.
I'm gonna say 2-1 Spurs.
Okay. Leicester, West Ham. Everton's really relying a lot on David Moyes.
Yes.
These last couple weeks.
Lord David Moyes. I think this one will be like a 3-3. All out.
All out
shootout.
Blitz, all out attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this one, if there's any magic left in Leicester, it's at the KP.
Mm-hmm.
West Ham probably don't have a ton to play for, given the fact they're going to be focused on their European final.
Yeah.
And they're going to be celebrating. I'm going to say Leicester do it. I'm going to say that it's 2-1 Leicester.
2-1 Leicester.
Yep.
All right, United versus Fulham. I don't know what to expect out of this match.
I expect Mitrovic to get his revenge.
Yes.
After getting suspended.
Yes, that's true. The scene of the crime.
Yeah, he's back.
Redemption.
He's back. And he's blue, so to speak.
He's back and he's not red.
He's not in the Mountain Dew kit.
Mitrovic hat trick, and then United spend 70 million to sign him.
Well, apparently, Sky Sports reported that Man U are in for, what was it?
Kane, Rice, and Mount.
Rice, Mount, and Kane. It's like, but they're gonna spend 200 mil.
Yes.
Oh
70 of that's on Mason Mount.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, so it'd really be more like 230 or something, 240. Oh my gosh. I'll say Fulham get a win for like no reason. I'll say 2-1 Fulham.
Yeah, I like Fulham.
They're just gonna make it happen.
2-0. Good
Southampton, Liverpool to close out the year. It's fitting. Southampton during their 10-year run, they had so many great players, and they were really just scalped by Liverpool for the most part.
One last farewell.
Now I was gonna say, yeah, the team that's officially sees them go down is the team that scalped them for their talent.
Absolutely. I think this will be like a 5-1 Liverpool.
I know they don't really have any reason to play these guys, and they'll play a lot of youth guys, but I was thinking 9-0.
9-0. That would be amazing.
I think it will be.
Yeah.
All right, Sam, let's get a prediction here. So we have let's make it official on record. I have Leeds. Let me pull up my table here. I have Leeds winning and Leicester winning, so that would send Leeds down regardless. And I had Leicester winning by 1. I would have Leicester staying up and Everton going down, given what I proclaimed would occur.
And I would have it as is
the same.
Leicester, Leeds, and Southampton going down because Everton's going to win.
Yeah, you have Everton winning. How about that?
Yeah.
Well, only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
I've said for how long I hated Leicester this whole year. I said they'd be in a dogfight. And then I kind of turned on them, and then these last few weeks I said there's no way they're staying up, and now at the death I'm saying they're going to stay up because they get to play West Ham. And West Ham are going to be drunk.
And me, who's had faith in Leicester
the whole time, and now you're like, actually Everton.
I've lost faith.
Yes.
But I want them to stay up. They're too good for the championship. They just need someone to right the ship.
Did you see Leeds might hire Brendan Rodgers if they go down?
Yes.
That's pretty great.
Brendan Rodgers shouldn't take that job.
No, but
if guys like Javi Gracia are getting Premier League jobs, I think Brendan Rodgers...
has to wait. Yeah, he just has to wait next year, and then Luton will throw him an offer. Yes. And by Luton, I mean Nottingham Forest will probably give him one because I don't think Steve Cooper will. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure someone
we'll see
would.
About that. I just want to, before we go, because this just popped in my mind. If you had to bet that Tottenham hire Graham Potter, Thomas Frank, or Steve Cooper, who do you have?
Well, one half of my prediction came true. Brentford beating Tottenham. So I'm going to say Tommy Frank.
Say Thomas Frank?
I'm riding that all the way.
Okay. I like it.
I should put money on it.
You could. You'd probably get some good chunk of change. All right. Any other predictions for who's going to score this week?
I'm gonna say a Sean Longstaff brace against Chelsea.
Wow, that's just sadness. That's not a world we should live in. A world we should live in is 5-0 Newcastle. All 5 goals are by St. Maximin, and then Chelsea by him.
Hell yeah.
That's the world I want to live in personally.
Absolutely.
But all right, that will wrap things up here on the Premiership Perusal podcast. Any departing messages, Sam?
Thanks for tuning in, lads and ladettes.
Ladettes.
We love you. Have a great weekend.
Adios.
We'll see you next week.
Mis amigos.